the chest that shaped a legend.
If you think this is just another chest day, stop watching. This is war. This is where steel meets flesh and weakness gets buried under iron.
Arnold didn't build a chest. He built armor. He built a monument to dedication, to pain, to purpose. And if you're stepping into this routine, then you better come prepared. Because we're not just chasing size, we're chasing greatness.
Flat barbell bench press, where legends begin. This is where it all starts. Not with a warm-up, not with a half-hearted lift, but with a declaration that today you're not here to just train, you're here to transform.
Arnold didn't just lie down on the bench. He ascended to it like a warrior stepping onto the battlefield. Because for him, the flat barbell bench press wasn't just an exercise. It was a ritual, a test, a throne. Every rep was intentional. Every inch of movement was carved from focus and fire. As the bar descended, he visualized his chest fibers tearing open with controlled violence, only to explode upward, stretching the muscle, contracting it, commanding it to grow. He wasn't lifting iron, he was forging stone. Incline bench press, rise above average. Arnold didn't just train the upper chest, he declared war on it. This was the movement that carved his chest into a towering monument, a shelf of muscle that commanded attention, a division so deep it looked like it was chiseled by the gods themselves. Where most lifters settle for flat benches and half-hearted effort, Arnold went where the pain was, to the incline, because he knew the difference between average and immortal could be just 10 degrees. 10 degrees, that's all it takes to rise above mediocrity. That slight shift in angle, it forces your body to adapt, to struggle, to grow, and Arnold hit it like it owed him something. Every rep was a statement, a challenge, a message to the muscle. You will grow, or I will break you trying. He didn't bounce the bar. He didn't chase numbers. He chased perfection.
Dumbbell Flys, sculpt like a master. This isn't just an exercise. This is artistry in motion.
Arnold didn't just lift the dumbbell. He felt every inch of the motion like a sculptor chiseling marble, like a warrior bending steel. You don't just move the weight, you become the movement. You open wide, arms stretched like wings, until your chest screams with tension, begging for release. And then you bring those bells together with the squeeze of a lifetime. Not for the pump, not for the mirror, but because your legacy depends on it. And for Arnold, it absolutely did. He didn't rush the motion. He embraced the stretch, felt it deep in the fibers, deep in the pain, because he knew this is where the chest takes shape. He imagined hugging a massive tree, wide, rounded, deliberate. This wasn't just a fly. This was sculpture, where barbells built the mountain, flies carved the valleys, the curves, the definition that turned muscle into masterpiece. This is where the roundness was born, where the outer chest started to pop, where the inner chest tied together like armor. You want a chest that doesn't just look big, but looks unreal? Chest dips, depth through discipline. This wasn't some end-of-workout burnout. This wasn't an afterthought. This was a weapon. Chest dips were where raw power met brutal control, and Arnold wielded them like a master of war. No machines, no cushions. Just a pair of parallel bars, body weight, and a refusal to quit. He didn't just go through the motion. He leaned forward, dipped deep, and drove upward with the fury of a man sculpting his name into history. Every rep was a fight, against gravity, against fatigue, against weakness.
Cable crossovers, the final touch of greatness. The workout wasn't over when the weight got heavy. It wasn't over when the sweat poured. It was over when the fibers screamed for mercy.
And Arnold didn't let up until they did. This is where champions refined the chaos. Cable crossovers weren't about lifting heavy. They were about lifting with purpose, precision, detail, control. Arnold didn't come here to inflate his ego. He came here to etch his legacy into every striation of his chest. He pulled with intent, arms sweeping in like a sculptor's blade across granite. And at the peak, he squeezed like his life, like his entire reputation depended on it. Because when you're standing under the lights, every inch of separation matters. Every cut, every line, every grain of definition. This wasn't just about getting a pump. This was about polish. The final stroke, the moment where your work becomes art. Cable crossovers weren't flashy. They were flawless. They brought the symmetry, the sharpness, the drama. Arnold understood. You can build a big chest with iron, but if you want a chest that looks like it was carved by Michelangelo himself, you finish with cadence. You stretch with control. You contract with intensity. And you don't stop until the chest looks like it's been sculpted under pressure. This is the final brushstroke on your masterpiece. Dumbbell pullovers, the forgotten weapon. A forgotten exercise? Maybe to the lazy, to the ones chasing trends instead of truth. But to Arnold, this was a secret weapon forged in fire and function. While others moved on to machines and shortcuts, Arnold kept this ancient tool in his arsenal. Because he understood something they didn't. This wasn't just an exercise. This was an evolution. Dumbbell pullovers did more than target the chest. They expanded it. They opened the rib cage like a door to greatness, stretching the lats, the lungs, the intercostals, creating that iconic vacuum, that deep chest spread that looked otherworldly when he posed. You saw it in his front double biceps, a silhouette so dramatic it stopped time. And it all started right here. One dumbbell, held like a sacred artifact, arched back over the bench and lowered deep into the pain. This movement was about expansion, not just of the body, but of what you thought was possible. The blueprint of a champion, written in iron. Arnold didn't overtrain. He out-trained the world. He didn't count sets to avoid fatigue. He counted them to earn dominance. Not because it was comfortable, but because greatness never is. Where others saw too much, Arnold saw what it took. He didn't care about the whispers, didn't flinch at the doubters. He had a vision so clear, so vivid, he could see the physique before it even existed. And every rep, every set, every drop of sweat was a brick in the foundation of a legacy. This wasn't just a physical pursuit. This was mental warfare.